Hey guys, welcome to the video. It's 1442 Stuart here, and in today's video we're going to be going over my latest build on last Epoch, which is the static one-hit build. We're going to be basing our build around static orb to basically clear packs. It leaves down a nice AoE damage over time, which you're going to use this, which also does many other things, but the main point of the build is static. You can ramp this ability up to crazy damage, as you can see, and you can just unload and completely one-shot most things in the game. It doesn't affect some bosses like Lagos. The only boss I've found it doesn't affect is Lagos, and it's really annoying. But other than that, you're going to find bosses really easy as well. And general mapping's pretty funny on this build, because you can just delete anything that's actually a problem. I haven't been playing much of Orson lately, because my PC has been struggling to run it with the new update, because the new affixes of the meteors and the lightning striking around as the dungeon's happening causes it to drop frames for me heavily. I don't know whether it's their system, well, their server side, or my system. I'm pretty sure it's their server, but it is what it is. This build is mainly lightning damage. I'll be going through the items overall, hovering over them in the background. Be sure to just pause whenever you need to, and make sure to look at what stats I'm going for. The items that I'm hovering over now, the rings, they're not 100% like needed or anything. You don't need to have these unique rings. I've just found them, and considering I'm using this ability to channel quite frequently, and this fourth one, that will increase my resistances and increase my damage, considering it's all lightning damage. You don't need all T6 affixes. The 3 affixes on this weapon, for example, the melee crit chance, the chance to ignite, the freeze rate, they do nothing. They do nothing. You can get way better items than I've got, especially for a build like this. The main point of the build is this amulet. This is a story item drop. You get it from doing the campaign. It's like the 3rd act, I think. It's pretty early on, and as you can see, it gives you critical 100% crit strike chance if you have not critically struck recently, which means my critical strike chance down here is at 231%, which is why you get this crazy number, and why you can double it and then do more and get it to crazy amounts. But that does also dump, this ability does also dump 200 of your mana, which is why on every single one of my items I am trying to get as much mana as possible, because this build is centric around generating mana, having full mana, and being able to just get rid of it whenever you need. I'll hover over my resistances. They're pretty much all capped apart from 2% on 3 of them, but that's not too bad. In terms of defense, you're going for life leech and ward gain on mana spent. So whenever you spend mana, you gain ward, as you can see in the background. See, the more mana, you should never do that, because obviously I was just showing you how to get more ward. And this is the passive skill tree. I'll hover over everything in the background. Once again, it's all subject to change. I haven't min-maxed this character to any kind of insane degree. I just wanted to show you what I've been working on and how it's been going, and it's doing pretty well. It's funny, I've got to the 7th monolith. I've completed that. I've just got to the empowered monoliths. I did have a sentinel build I was also working on, but I didn't like the way it came out in the end. I preferred this one way more, so I thought I'd give you this one instead. Let me know if you want to see the sentinel build in the comments below. There's an increased increased critical strike chance node here, but that's not important. You're going for the critical multiplier again. And there's another one over here as well. This gives you crit strike chance, but you need to have this to get to this, which is crit multiplier. The crit multiplier is way more important than the crit strike chance, because we're using the gimmick of this item, where we constantly roll, because this ability and this ability cannot crit because they're channeling. They never crit. So if you just do this for 2 seconds, it will force this or your next ability cast, which can crit, to crit. So, as I said, I'll go through the passives. There's a max height, that's more cast speed, which turns into damage, and then damage per stack of cast speed, so that's really good. Increased spell damage, really good, and ward retention based on mana spent, and I'll show you why that's good soon. You get ward per maximum mana spent. Per 10 mana you get 7 mana. I'll show you why that's good, because of course you can drop 200 mana a second if you want, and gain a whole bunch of ward. Increased lightning damage, also very good. Lightning damage and lightning pen, and lightning leech, good. Spell damage, very, very good, and value tripled if you have over 200 maximum mana, which we do. And increased shock chance, which is, you know, just there basically. Elemental res, elemental damage, and stun chance, which is never bad. These are all pretty simple. You've got the increased lightning damage, increased cast speed, which then you then get cooldown recovery for, but I don't use. Crit multi, lightning damage, and then we just go straight into the sorcerer. Alright, in regard to the skill trees for the actual individual skills. You've got less damage taken after the disintegrate because you are stationary. You need to be able to not die. And then you get 15 more per second from using it, which is also very good. I also spec'd it all the way down here into the bottom right, so it generates mana. It has no channel cost and it generates mana per second. And we've doubled the amount of it generating, so you gain 40 mana per second, which is quite a lot. And it does decent damage and keeps you alive with less damage taken and ward retention. I've also gone for the upgrade to tier 2, so it does 150% increased damage, and for the upgrade speed as well. But this, I'm thinking about changing this extra damage and adding it more into defense or into some sort of utility, because it's not really the main damage dealer of the build at all. Onto the second, the thing you'll be using to clear mobs, like packs of enemies and little groups of enemies. This will be the main one for that. We go straight into the increased maximum mana cost, but per mana cost you get damage, so that's also very good for our build. That also affects the damage dealt on the static ground, which then you can multiply off if you crit multiplier, which we go for in this as well, even more so. So coinciding with the passive skill tree and plus what we're getting here, we're going to get a lot of crit multi, which is going to multiply the static ground, which is discharged, yeah, and that will just melt everyone. You get static charges gained on hit. That's good, nice for your final big one shot if you need to use it. Spell damage to shocked enemies, that's more of just a travel node. Extra bit of ward gain on hit, still just a travel node. 100% crit multi, very good. Lightning Aegis is a very good buff, and you should at least get one node in here if you can, because it's 50% extra damage. It's just very good at the cost of casting a lightning spell, which you're going to be doing all the time. So you should definitely get this. And this is for the AoE for trying to clear mobs or little adds that can overwhelm you, because like I say, you will be stationary sometimes with this build when you're trying to do the most damage. So if you just want to clear out enemies, that's why I've took this. As for static, we go straight down into here and we add all of them into Empower, which gives you more damage if you have more than 80 charges, which we always will. Discharge deals an additional light damage per charge, but a discharge costs more mana per charge, yeah? That's ridiculous, because you can then combine that with this and increase the maximum charges by 100, making it 200, that's an extra 200 lightning damage per charge. It gets really stupid. I took one increased range, just for utility. I took haste on discharge, just for utility. Over 100 charges, you gain an extra 40% critical multiplier. That's huge. Really, really good extra damage. You got 3 base crit chance, which doesn't do much. I probably should get rid of this, but I took it for this. An additional enemy hit for each extra 50 charges, and we have 200 charges, so that's an additional 4 enemies. So that's, you know, double the damage, because you can normally only hit 5. So effective damage. And onto Flame Ward, we've got this as just a pop it when you feel like you might get killed, and you'll live because it's ridiculous. And it gives you loads of ward and ward regeneration and damage reduction. It gives you an additional 45 ward per second. It gives you an additional 50% ward retention. It gives me, that's the duration and the mana efficiency of the skill. Increased fire damage, but it's been converted to lightning, so it also increases my damage. So if I pop this, it will also increase my damage of every ability. So if I cast Flame Ward, static goes up, discharge, static orb, and if I go into Arcane Ascendance, it goes up again. But the elemental damage taken reduced by 20%, very good. Less hit per damage taken reduced by 40%. So if I pop this and disintegrate, because that's got 28, that's 68% damage reduction just on every damage, and then it's 88 with elemental damage, and there's other things as well. There's Arcane Ascendance, which is another buffer, way to buff your damage to just really blow something up if you need to get it out of your way. Cooldown recovery on it, because it's something you want to cast in and out of quite frequently. The mana drain reduced because, like I said, you need to have as much mana as you can with this build to make it as useful as you can. Increase spell damage whilst you're there. Max that out. Very good. Increase spell damage per second that you're in it, 5%. So every 3 seconds you're in it, that's an extra 15% spell damage, which makes that double damage. And a little utility buff for cast speed, which also adds damage to some degree. And increases spell damage when hit. To be honest, this is all subject to change. If I was going to change any ability in this build, it would definitely be this one. Probably teleport if you feel like using it for the utility. If you're struggling to get out of dodge when you need to. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with the showcase at the end. I'm going to leave you with the showcase now, put on about 5-10 minutes worth of footage. Hope you enjoyed the video. Any more extra questions, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to share. Peace!
within. We've justified our sin, and we're gonna take you on a ride till we find answers within. Location not here, in shadow.